Since you and I have last talked less than 2 weeks ago, but let's start with the most recent first. On Sunday, President Joe Biden dropped out of the 2024 race. What's your reaction?
Well, I'm not surprised, although it was sort of stunning the way that we heard about this via a Twitter message, not coming from the president in a national address, which I think would have probably been more appropriate. But this is, we don't know the reasons why, and it's concerning to me that the Democrats have, talk on and on about democracy and undermining democracy. But my first reaction was 14 million Democrats went to the polls this year and voted for Joe Biden in the primary. And now, without any real explanation, Joe Biden is out. And, we can speculate that it's because his poll numbers are bad, and that's why they want him out after a very successful Republican convention. Or, and by the way, the other real key thing is his donor money was drying up, which is probably one of the more compelling reasons. And secondly, maybe it's his cognitive situation, but he's not stepping down yet, although that could happen since this has been one crazy whirlwind of an election cycle. We went from a very poor debate performance from President Biden to the assassination attempt of President Trump to this shocking news now. So I just think it's incredible that they're forcing him out, and we don't really have a clear reason why.
What do you make of the argument from many Republicans that if he steps down from the race, he should then immediately resign from the presidency?
Well, I have called for him to resign from the presidency long ago. Once Robert Hur put out his report that said that Joe Biden was guilty of crimes, basically, but he was worried about putting him in front of a jury because he was forgetful. And, this has raised a huge controversy over whether or not, the tapes can actually be released so people can hear the pauses and the actual live version of Joe Biden, not the edited transcript that's written down. And so at that moment in time, I said, if Robert Hur claims that you're not competent to stand trial, then the 25th Amendment should be invoked by Merrick Garland, and he should be removed from office based on the 25th Amendment. I wrote that letter to Merrick Garland on the eve of that bombshell disclosure by Robert Hur, and now I stand by that. And here we are again. If the president cannot serve, he needs to step down. If it's some kind of mental reason. And by the way, how do you measure this? Well, it's because he's low in poll numbers. Well, that totally undermines democracy because you're undermining the will of the voters who chose someone regardless of his poll numbers. Or is it that he is not capable of doing the job? These are questions that don't reconcile each other based on what they're trying to do. And it looks to me like it's winning at all costs, power at all costs, regardless of what the voters think, regardless of what the democratic process is. And yet what has been going on with this cover-up of the president's condition, especially in the last year, we've seen him deteriorate more dramatically than even in the last couple of years.